I'm here with Kay Roseland with Shareology. You're a Minnesota blogger, Kay. You started blogging when?
July 26th.
Wow, you know the exact date.
Oh, yes.
Very good.
Of 2009.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So why did you start blogging?
It came about of not wanting to be a dinosaur. I came into the latest layoff in my world in the Depression Recession of October 2008. I came out, I had just gotten my MBA from St. Thomas, and there was a lot of change going on. And I thought, well, I don't want to look to be a dinosaur. So if someone Googles Kay Roseland, I want them to find something of ilk.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So at that time, I went up and I changed my LinkedIn from 11 contacts with no recommendations to 420 contacts with 12 recommendations. So I built LinkedIn first. And It turned out, in retrospect, that was a good way to do it. Then about a year ago, I got involved with Twitter.
Okay.
Totally fell in love.
Uh-huh.
Anything that makes me limit myself to 140 characters is a good thing. And then I had a friend, Neil, who started Agency Babylon.
Okay.
And I was kind of helping behind the scenes, being supportive and giving him some things he may not have thought about or some stuff he hadn't found yet. And he got Agency Babylon all up and running and doing beautifully. And then he turned to me and he said, "Okay, your turn." And I went, "But what will I write about?" It became difficult because I wanted to talk about networking, I wanted to talk about social media, I wanted to talk about retail, I wanted to talk about marketing. Mm-hmm. And then I suddenly realized those are all tied together. Yeah. Because social media is nothing but the latest technology that allows us to market to our customers and our audiences.
Right, right.
And that's where Shareology came from. And he was right. After he started, I had to jump in the water. And it went way beyond not becoming a dinosaur. It grew like Copsy, and part of it because of the social media climate in the Twin Cities. Right. The fact that Mima exists, that social media breakfast exists, it just allows you to grow and blossom. And once I found out, for me, the value of LinkedIn groups and how you can segment your market and send messages to the people who are interested in that particular message. Mm-hmm. So that's how I got involved, and it's been wonderful. I've met people like you every day.
Well, you've sort of become the chronicler of social media events, and you go to Shareology and you can likely find the latest photos from the latest events. How it looks sort of like a niche for you.
It probably is, for a couple of reasons. One, one of the 4 pillars of Shareology is networking. Mm-hmm. And I found such great groups for networking. But the other thing I found is I've always loved photography. You know, when I was a kid, way back when, I actually had one of those awful box cameras, which were practically, before the Stone Age. So now, with a digital, you can go everywhere, you can take a bunch of photos, and you can delete 95% of them, and what you've got left looks pretty good. Right. So as I go to groups, one of the things is, part of it, when people are thinking, should I go to that group? They want to know, well, what's it like? Mm-hmm. And should I be there? And by looking at the photos, they can kind of get a feel for it. Yep. And the other thing, quite frankly, everyone wants to see a photo of themselves.
The small town effect?
It's a very small town. So I think in a lot of ways we just want to see, did I have fun at that last thing I was at? And sure, I was about to know that.
Sure. How'd you come up with the name? That's a great name.
I was actually doing some brainstorming with Neil for another client in New York for a company that was just starting. And we had brainstormed a whole boatload of names. The client actually went with another name. And so as I was trying to figure out what to call it, he said, Shareology is available. And I went, well, golly, D, with all my networking, what's more perfect?
Right.
And it's been very organic. The more I have been part of Shareology, the more I felt more comfortable with that name and that process.
Right, that's cool. You got any advice for somebody who is thinking about starting a blog?
Find someone who's done one so that you can ask questions about the technical parts. I don't think WordPress is the most intuitive piece of software in the Western Hemisphere. Mm-hmm. Once you get somebody who can get you past those few initial, where the heck do I find this and how do I change that? And it's, again, if you've got a buddy who's already gone through the process, it's a whole lot easier than you staring at the screen going, but I don't want the photo to be there. So get someone who's done it before who can give you a few tips.
Sure. So how do people find you? What's your address?
The easiest way is simply to Google K. Roseland.
Okay.
And I'm really proud of that between the working that Twitter has in conjunction with Google. If you Google K. Roseland, you're going to get my blog, you're going to get my Twitter, you're going to get my LinkedIn. So I'm really proud that by using the right tools, my SEO level is very high.
Very good.
That's the fastest way to find. Or you can just Google Shareology.
Okay, very good. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk.
Excellent.
All right.